What if I told you there's a free intervention that reduces inflammation by up to 30%, improves sleep by 30 minutes per night, lower blood pressure by 10%, decreases depression symptoms significantly? No prescriptions needed, no side effects, just science. And it is called gratitude. And today I'm showing you the research, not the fluffy positivity bit, but actual neuroscience on how thankfulness changes your brain and your body, especially when you have chronic illness or disability. Hello, welcome to InspireAbility. This is where we don't do toxic positivity. We do evidence-based strategies that work for real people with real challenges. I am Ruby, and if you've been told to just be grateful while struggling with chronic pain or disabilities, I get it. That's dismissive. That's very unhelpful. But yes, a difference between toxic positivity and scientifically backed gratitude practice. Today, we are diving into the research. We're looking at how we can use gratitude to our own advantage. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications. Let's talk science today. So gratitude isn't toxic positivity. But before we go into the science, let's be crystal clear about what gratitude is not. Toxic positivity says, just think positive, good vibes only. If you are grateful enough, you won't be sick anymore. Your pain is because you're not thankful enough. That's garbage. That's victim blaming. That's dismissive. And that's very, very harmful. But science-based gratitude will say that life is hard, the pain is real, and there are still things to be grateful for. Note the and. Acknowledging good doesn't erase bad. You can be grateful and struggling. Gratitude is a tool, not a cure, and we need to learn how to use this tool to our advantage. There are key distinctions. Toxic positivity denies reality. Gratitude acknowledges reality and looks for what's working alongside what's not. It considers very carefully, this is not working, but this is. So when I talk about gratitude today, I'm not telling you to ignore your pain. I'm showing you how practicing thankfulness, even for small things, can improve your physical and mental health. Not because you're manifesting healing, but because your brain and your body respond to gratitude in measurable ways. Let's look at the research. So, yes, what the peer-reviewed studies from institutions like UC, Berkeley, Harvard, and Stanford have found about gratitude. The first finding is that gratitude reduces inflammation. A 2015 study published in Spirituality in Clinical Practice found that gratitude journaling reduced inflammation biomarkers by up to 30%. Yes, a whopping 30%. Why do you think this matters? Chronic inflammation is linked to chronic pain, autoimmune conditions, cardiovascular disease, depression, fatigue. So when you practice gratitude, your vagus nerve, which regulates your parasympathetic nervous system, activates. So when there's this activation of your parasympathetic nervous system, it reduces cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and the inflammatory marker, the C-reactive protein. So let's speak plain English. Gratitude calms your nervous system, which reduces inflammation. Not cure, but provides a very measurable improvement. The second finding is that, and that's from a study from UC Berkeley in 2011, found that people who kept gratitude journals for 2 weeks, one, they fell asleep 30 minutes faster, they slept 30 minutes longer, they reported better sleep quality. So if you have chronic illness, you do know how crucial sleep is. Crucial can make sleep can make a difference, a huge difference between how tomorrow turns out for you and your body. Poor sleep always worsens pain, increases fatigue, and weakens immunity. We're now being told that gratitude actually improves sleep by reducing anxious thoughts before bed, lowering cortisol level at night, shifting focus from worry to calm. And we're going to talk about how to do this in a minute. But the research is clear. Gratitude is equals to better sleep. Gratitude will give you better sleep. The third finding is that, and that's from fMRI studies, that shows that practicing gratitude strengthens neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex, and that's the part of your brain that's responsible for decision making, emotional regulations, perspective taking. What does this really mean? So the more you practice gratitude, the more your brain defaults to noticing good things. So it's not about ignoring bad things. It's about training your brain to have a balanced perspective instead of just focusing on the negative. So it would no longer be negatively biased alone. It would also consider positives. So if your brain has that negative bias, it's then begin to rewire, because the negative bias would actually help it focus on threats for survival, but gratitude begins to make it look differently. So when you live with chronic illness, this bias can actually spiral. This negative bias can spiral into catastrophic thinking. So thinking along the lines of, oh, nothing ever works, it's always going to be this bad, or it would probably get worse, I'll never feel better. Those are the type of thoughts that the negative bias loop can help you to keep having. But gratitude practice will interrupt this pattern. It doesn't erase the negative, that's not what we're saying here, but it balances it out with some positivity. And that's what you need, really. Break the cycle of negativity. The fourth finding is that gratitude increases some neurotransmitters. So when you actively practice gratitude, your brain releases serotonin, which is the mood stabilizer, and dopamine, which is the reward and the motivation chemicals. So these are the same neurotransmitters that we have in antidepressants. Antidepressants, when you take them, they try to increase these neurotransmitters because they're good for you. A study in 2016 in neuroimaging found that gratitude activates the brain's reward pathways, the same areas that is activated by social connection and receiving gifts. So you're essentially giving your brain a neural mood boost. So you're boosting your brain's mood, which is brilliant. So we're not saying you should replace your medication with this if you need it, but we are saying it's a powerful supplement. Gratitude is to help you consolidate things. The fifth finding is that gratitude lowers blood pressure and strengthens immunity. So multiple studies have shown that 10% reduction in blood pressure. There's a 2015 applied psychology, health, and well-being study that shows this. And it improved heart rate variability, also a marker of stress resilience. Then there's a stronger immune response. There's a 2012 personality and individuality difference studies. So all this research are very, very clear. Gratitude is not just nice, it is neurologically and physiologically beneficial. It reduces inflammation, improves sleep, rewires your brain, boosts mood chemical, and strengthens your body. So if your mood is better, your body is strengthened, your brain is rewired, you sleep well, you're less inflamed. Beautiful, isn't it? So we've seen the science. Now let's talk about how to practice this when life is hard. Because I'm sure you're probably thinking, yes, easier said than done. And when we're going through those tough times, those times that we're trying to do things and our body is screaming something else, when we can't get out of bed, when our brain is so fatigued, our body is not responding to us in the way it should, how do we then find any way to be grateful? So here are 4 evidence-based gratitude practice that works for people with chronic conditions. And I want you to consider them very carefully, note them, and try to practice them. Practice 1, the 3 good things daily practice. Every evening, without fail, write down 3 things that went well today. They don't have to be big. It might be minute things. Examples are along the lines of, my pay was 6 instead of 8 today. My friend texted to check on me. I finished 1 load of laundry. The sun came through my window and felt warm. Why this works. So your brain's negativity bias makes you focus on what went wrong. This practice will force your brain to begin to search for what went right. What went right will not come by default to the foremost of your mind, but when you attempt to practice it, you attempt to think it through before you realize it, things that have gone right will come a lot quicker to you, and then you're building a gratitude or a thankful practice. Over time, studies have shown 2 to 3 weeks, this practice actually rewires your default thinking pattern. And it works. So how do you do this? Just get a notebook, a small one, doesn't have to be fancy. Keep it by your bed every night before you sleep. Just write 3 things, not big, massive things. Just can be the smallest thing. Oh, I was able to write a letter today. It could be anything, just something that went well for that day. That's it. Just 5 minutes. You don't have to spend more than 5 minutes maximum. You're done. But you're helping your brain to rewire. Practice 2 is, we're looking at adaptive victories, small wins. When you have chronic illness, your wins look different. Some people will think running a marathon is a win, running 5K is a win, running cross country is a win. But for people with chronic conditions and disabilities, the way we view wins are very different. And that is very okay. It doesn't mean that our wins are less. It just means that they are different. An example of adaptive victory could be gratitude for, maybe I packed my garage nicely today, or I paced myself and didn't crash today. I asked for help instead of pushing through. I rested without guilt. I said no to something that would drain me. I used my mobility aid without shame. All of these are victories, and they are victories to be celebrated. They are adaptive, they are smart, they are survivalist. So thinking them through would help you know that there are things to be grateful for, to be thankful for, and they deserve gratitude. Each and every one of these things, as small as they might sound, they deserve gratitude and thankfulness. So at the end of each day, you can ask yourself, what did I do today that honored my body's needs? Then you say thank you to yourself for that. You pat yourself at the back. Well done for allowing your body what it needed today. There's what we call the self-compassion note. And it's this. This is gratitude and this is self-compassion. What we've just done. Your body needed it. You allowed it. You're noting carefully, strategically, how to combine gratitude with self-compassion. And this is powerful. Both of these are scientifically proven to improve mental health. They're very, very useful. Practice number 3. Gratitude is amplified when you express it to others. A 2010 study in psychological science found that expressing gratitude to others, 1, strengthens relationships, increases your happiness, not just theirs, creates positive feedback loops. It helps not just you, but them as well. So how do you incorporate this into your day-to-day life? Once a week, send a text to someone in your support system. Hey, I just want to say thank you for maybe bringing the groceries over, or helping me with my garden, whatever they've helped you with, or bringing my post in to me, it really helped me. So write those things to them, and it would make a difference to them. Things along the line. I was quite overwhelmed. So when you brought the groceries in for me, it was actually relieving. It was pressure off. So thank you. And it could be just a thank you for listening when I vented yesterday. I felt heard. Or thank you for not judging me when I cancelled our plans. Your understanding means everything to me. It actually strengthens the relationships. You need those relationships, especially when you're down and low. It also helps you to remember that you're not alone, because you aren't. You have people around you. Build those trust, build those relationship, and work on them. It would help boost your mood through social connections. Practice 4. Gratitude alongside, not instead of. Pain tracking. This is quite crucial. This is how we can integrate reality very nicely. We're not trying to replace pain tracking with gratitude. We're adding gratitude to tracking. And I want us to be very careful. We're not saying, no, don't track your pain again, ignore it, bury it, that's it. No. We're saying add gratitude to what is already working to get even a better result. You need to learn how to practice integration. If you use a symptom tracker app, like maybe Bearable, maybe Flare Down, whatever you use, you could add a gratitude field to it. Where you set pain level 7 and you said fatigue is high, you could just say gratitude. The eating pad helped, friend called, sunshine through my window today. Anything that actually you are grateful for, just add it to it. This will help you to be grounded in reality. The pain is real, while also noticing what is working is real. And it will help you to have a very balanced awareness of what is really happening in your life. So over time, you'll see a pattern. On high pain days, my friends' calls really help. Maybe sunshine correlates with better mood even when pain is high. So you begin to see a pattern that you can then create a better experience for yourself in spite of your situation. This would help you actually with your self-care. It will help you better strategize, it will help you better plan for future health self-care. Then the next thing we want to talk about is, and this is a bit of the hardest part, how do you practice gratitude when life is really hard? How? When it's so tough, when you feel like just weeping and covering yourself up in bed and just feeling sorrowful about the way the situation is. Yes, the key I want us to think about is called the but and thinking, not either or. Is you're thinking of both and. Two things, there's something here, and it's not either or. You're not separating things, you're bringing things together. An example is, I'm in severe pain today and I'm grateful for my eating pad. I'm giving what I've lost and I'm grateful for what I still have. This illness sucks and there are still beautiful moments. There's the and. There's the yes, this is not negative and there's still a positive here. It matters because the both and thinking actually allows you to validate your struggle, because it's real, it's hard, it's tough, it's difficult. But you also notice the good because it exists along the hardship. Bring them both together, you notice them. But I don't want you to get it confused. I don't want you to start using gratitude to dismiss your pain, because then you're doing something quite destructive. Things along the line of, at least I'm not worse, maybe mention a worse situation, you are trying to minimize your pain. Others have it worse. You are invalidating the situation. I should just be grateful. You're speaking from guilt. Those are things we don't want around us at all. We don't want those negative thinking biases to build up. We're trying to break their pattern, remember. What you will do when things are really difficult is use your gratitude to actually broaden your perspective. This is hard, and I'm grateful my friend gets it. I'm struggling, and I'm grateful for small wins. Today was rough, and I'm grateful it's over. So you're allowed to struggle and be grateful simultaneously. You don't have to pick one or the other. They can both live in your world together. It's fine. You don't have to think of them as being mutually exclusive. Trust me, this is not toxic positivity. This is very realistic resilience we're trying to build here. Marrying the challenges with the wins, big or small. So if you're in a season where gratitude feels impossible, those difficult days, those hard weeks, challenging weeks, that is okay as well. Survival is enough for in those instances. You don't owe anyone gratitude. If you cannot be grateful because you just can't find it in yourself to see anything whatsoever, because it's tough or multiple symptoms are literally burying you under, that's fine. That's understandable. We're not saying you must be every day. We're just saying try to adapt this because it does help. Now, listen, gratitude is not a magic cure. It's not going to eliminate your pains or heal your condition, but the science is undeniable. Practicing gratitude, even in small ways, improves your brain, your body, and mental health, including your physical health as well. So, yes, your challenge for this week, I do love giving challenges. Pick one practice, maybe 3 good things journal, 5 minutes at night. Gratitude for adaptive victories. You acknowledge small wins, or thank you text to your support system once a week. So add your gratitude field to your symptom tracking. Whatever you want, just one small start. You don't have to start everything together this week. One, if you can stretch to, that'll be a huge win. Just pick up one thing and start it today. So research has shown that there's benefit, huge benefit, if we can stay consistent for about 2 to 3 weeks with any of these practices. And then over time, if you can combine them, you can imagine the huge impacts it will have on your overall well-being. It's not going to be overnight, but you'll be able to experience measurable improvement after about 3 weeks. Now listen, you're allowed to be grateful and struggling. You're allowed to notice good and acknowledge hard. It's survival science, and it's okay to do this and live this way simultaneously. You've got this. You can do it. You can be going through the worst pain possible, but still look out the window, see the sunshine, and be grateful for it. So if you're committing to one gratitude practice this week, why don't you drop me a comment? Tell me which one it is. And as I always say, share this video with someone who needs the science-based hope to keep them going, to help them change their neural pathway so that they start thinking differently to improve their health and well-being. Subscribe for our weekly evidence-based strategies. We're always here every week, coming up with brilliant ideas that can help you navigate the world of disabilities and chronic conditions. This is what we do. We love doing it. We love meeting you in this community. Remember, you're not failing because you're struggling. You're thriving because you're adapting. And gratitude is one tool, one extra tool in your adaptive toolkit that can help you to keep thriving. You can gain access to our free resources in the description column. I am Ruby. This is InspireAbility. We are not just surviving. We are using science to thrive. We are thriving, and we are allowed always to be uniquely us. See you next week. But I'll leave you with this. Gratitude rewires your brain. Science proves it. You can be grateful and struggling. You don't have to choose either or. Both are possible simultaneously. Take care and keep thriving. Stay uniquely you until I see you next week. Bye for now. Bye.